Okay, so one thing I want to mention is being obsessed with another person is one of the scariest things anyone could do. Like, I'm gonna be honest here, I've had times in my life where people were obsessed with me, but honestly, it's gotten to the point where I think people need to understand self-control is a big deal, especially if you love another person. Like, seriously, like, this story does get insane, and if you guys saw the title of this video, you guys would know it gets insane. But before I do get into the story, I just want to mention, make sure you guys do leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you guys haven't already. Also, make sure you guys do follow me on Instagram, and as well as I am live right now on Bubba Gaming, literally telling crazy stories like this one, and on top of that, playing your favorite games. Anyways, other than that, let's get straight into this crazy story. Yo, what is going on, you guys? My name's Bubba, and welcome back to another insane story. So this story takes place back when I was in high school. This was my grade 9 year, and I remember I wasn't much of a lady slayer. I knew how to talk to girls, I knew how to like smooth talk them, but honestly, I never like took it to the extent to always be doing the devil's tango. That was mostly around grade 10 and grade 11. But I remember one time, for some reason, puberty hit me like a rock around that age. Like, it hit me so hard to the point where I grew a jawline that was, well, irresistible, I guess, to some people. I don't know what it is with people getting good jawlines, but apparently I got one, and it got to the point where girls were talking about it all throughout the school. It got kind of weird, and to be honest, I felt like a senpai, one of those uwu characters in an anime. I know, it sounds kind of cringe, but that's the way they described it. And I remember one time a girl walked up to me saying, "Hey, like, Bubba, I just want to say, like, you look really good today." Thanks. It was really random. Until one day, I remember there was a girl that was visiting our school from another school to hang out with her friends, and automatically when she saw me, she was like obsessed. I don't know why. She instantly walked up to me saying, "Hi, I didn't want to resist saying hi to you. How are you? Like, what are you up to?" "I go to school here," is what I told her. And then I remember she said, "Oh, well, like, I'm just visiting for friends, but like, I was just wondering, can I get your Snapchat? Like, I know it's kind of awkward and just out of nowhere, but like, you're really cute." I don't know why. She kept like basically saying I was cute and stuff. And honestly, this girl didn't look half bad. So I remember I told her, "Oh yeah, sure. Like, I'll just pull out your phone." She pulled out her phone, and I remember I ended up giving her my Snapchat. But later on throughout the day, I remember that I kind of regretted it, because right as I gave her my Snapchat and walked away from her, I instantly got a snap from her saying, "By the way, your jawline is so good." What is what I said? I said thank you, and then I ended up keep walking and putting my phone away. But honestly, knowing that she said that right away, right as like added her, is very awkward in a way. Anyways, going on with the school day, I remember I basically was walking around school and stuff, and I think one of the reasons why my actual jawline looked pretty good that day was because I was wearing a turtleneck. Guys, if you guys want your jawline to really pop out, wear a turtleneck. It actually does work. Trust me, I've worn one a couple times, and it actually does make my jawline pop. If you guys don't believe me, well, follow me on Instagram. I might post a photo of that, but make sure your mom's not watching, or she might, you know, fall for me. Anyways, going on with the story, I remember basically I was walking throughout the hallway, and then after that, my buddy walks up to me. He says, "Bro, like, there's this chick who doesn't go here, and like, for some reason, she just keeps talking about you. It's kind of weird." I remember I was kind of odded out, and I was like, "Oh, okay, well, like, what'd she say?" And then my buddy told me, "Well, like, for some reason, she keeps calling you Bubba, which is kind of weird. I mean, like, she knows your name, but like, she calls you Bubba and stuff, and like, she keeps talking about you." Now, you guys are probably weirded out saying, "Oh, she just said your name." Well, you guys gotta understand, in high school, I was only called Bubba once I joined the rugby team. Before I was called Bubba, I was called by my actual first name, Arash. And yes, I know it's a funny name, Arash, like you're itchy or something. I've heard all the jokes, okay? But I'm gonna be honest here, the way that this girl was describing me was as if I was her god. It got to the point where I was actually kind of scared, so I ended up blocking her on my Snapchat. Reminder, this girl was still in our school, walking around, hanging out with her friends. But me, I blocked her on Snapchat once I heard she was talking about me, because I'm gonna be honest, I'm the last guy to deal with drama. And when I unadded her and blocked her, I remember I kept going on with my school day. And then when lunch came around, I remember at lunch, this girl ended up running up to me when she saw me in the hallway. She ran up to me saying, "Bubba, like, why'd you block me? Like, what is wrong with you? Like, what did I do? Like, please just add me back. Oh my goodness, like, it makes no sense." I remember I was really awkwarded out knowing that so many people were looking at me in the hallway. I kind of just looked at her saying, "Listen, okay, I'll add you back. Just calm down, man. Like, geez, like, you're being really obsessive here." She looks at me and she's like, "I'm not obsessive. Like, you don't even know me that well yet. Like, how could you say that?" And I looked at her. I'm like, "Okay, well, I mean, from what you're doing, it's pretty weird." Then she told me, "Okay, well, like, Bubba, honestly, I think that me and you should just go on a date. Like, let's just go out one time, just so you can actually understand who I am." When she said that, honestly, I felt bad, because she has a point. I did not know her that well. Maybe she wasn't obsessive. I don't know. I gave her the benefit of the doubt, and I basically ended up saying, "Sure." I added her back on Snapchat, and me and her planned after school to go out with each other and hang out with each other. I remember after school came around, and me and her, we ended up hanging out with each other. We ended up going to the mall because, you know, it was close to her school, and we were just walking around. As we were walking around, though, I remember she kept talking about like her ex-boyfriends, which is automatically a red flag. And on top of that, she kept talking about how, you know, she really wanted to like just settle down and like be happy in life and stuff. I don't know. She made it seem like she like had like a whole life pass by her, when in reality, she was only like 17 17, 16. I don't know. I know she was a bit older than me, but still, it was just really weird. Anyways, going on, I remember at one time, as we were walking around the mall, she looked at me saying, hey, Bubba, like, do you want to just like maybe like come over? I don't know. Like, I really have nothing to do. And like, you're really cute. She kept bringing up that I was cute, bro. Like, it was weird. So obviously in my mind, I knew that I did not want to go with crazy. So I said, sorry, like, I gotta go home. Like, I got a lot of homework and stuff. So I ended up leaving her there. And basically I ended up just taking the bus home. And when I got home, I ended up just doing my homework. When I was doing my homework though, I ended up getting a Snapchat from her saying, OMG, like, I'm so happy we're a couple now. What is what I told her? We're not a couple. We didn't even like properly go out. We just hung out. I don't even consider that a date. Immediately, I remember my friend called me saying, yo, bro, when are you gonna put her initials in your bio? What do you mean in my bio? Dude, it's literally on her Instagram. Look at her Instagram right now, bro. She put you in her bio. Wait, what? What's her Instagram? I remember I checked out her Instagram and I saw that she literally had my initials in her bio. ABM. It was the most weirdest thing ever and I was really awkwarded out. At this point, I knew I had to call her. So I ended up calling her on Snapchat saying, hey, listen, you gotta really calm down with this. Like, you know, we're not actually together. Like, it was just our first time hanging out with each other. And she's like, what? Like, do you not love me? Like, what's wrong with me? Why don't you care about me? I don't understand. Like, I would do anything for you. And then I remember I basically said like, okay, listen, calm down. Like, first off, I doubt you actually really love me. Okay. Like, we literally just met. Like, you need to relax. Then she looked at me saying, Bubba, right now, I will prove my love to you. I swear I will. Like, watch me. Watch you? How are you going to prove your love to me? After that, she ended up leaving me on red. She left me on red and I was confused. I did not know what was going on and I was terrified. But she kept leaving me on red and in my mind, I thought, okay, maybe she just moved on and got the hint. I remember the next day I ended up going to school. And when I went to school, I was basically hanging out with my friends and stuff. And then this girl that I really did not know ran up to me saying, Bubba, what did you do? What do you mean, what did I do? What could I have possibly done? She looks at me and says, you know my friend, right? And I'm like, oh yeah, like I hung out with her. Then she told me, well, like, look what she posted on her story. She was at a tattoo parlor. She was at a place getting a tattoo right now. And I was confused. I was like, why is she getting a tattoo? What in the world? And then I remember out of nowhere, I was really confused and I ended up messaging her on Snapchat saying, hey, like, I was just curious, like, you're getting a tattoo? She ends up messaging me back saying, oh, like, yeah, like, don't worry about it. Like, trust me, like, you're gonna love it. I'm gonna love it is what I said. Okay. And then around after school came and I remember she ended up pulling up with her dad driving the car and instantly she got out of the car and ran up to me and gave me the biggest hug ever as I was leaving to go home. She said, Bubba, I want you to see something. Follow me. I remember she ended up grabbing my hand and we ended up going to the girls' bathroom. I know, kind of weird, but it's not my first time in the girls' bathroom. When I got in there, I remember she looked at me, we went into the bathroom stall, and in my mind, I thought she wanted to do the devil's tango. But no, out of nowhere, she ended up just taking off her top and she ended up having a tattoo. She had my name tattooed on her cherries. Literally. I didn't know what to do. It literally said Bubba. And I looked at it and I'm like, there is no way you got that tattooed. She looks at me and says, did you know it's not only your name? It also means daddy. Bro, what? By the way, if you guys didn't know, yes, in my language, Bubba means father. So the fact that she got that tattooed on her cherries is kind of weird. But I mean, honestly, I felt really bad and I told her, like, you need to get that removed. She looks at me and says, I'm not getting it removed. Like, this is for you. This is for our love. Yeah, no, you're psycho. I remember I ended up walking away from her and basically from there, I remember she ended up literally chasing after me and punching me really hard because she was upset that I wouldn't be with her. From there, I remember the boys surrounded me and basically said like, yo, you need to chill, girl, like relax. And basically this girl was just yelling and screaming, but I love him. Like, why does he love me? Like, this is crazy. From there, I told her to relax and move on. And then the next day, I remember she didn't end up saying anything. She on-added me on Snapchat, blocked me, and I guess forever to this day, she'll have that tattoo of knowing of a guy that she just met. Honestly, she's gonna regret that, but I mean, it's whatever. Anyways, guys, that's basically it for today's story. Make sure you guys do leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you guys haven't already. Seriously means a lot when you guys do. And on top of that, did I mention that I am currently live? So make sure you guys join Bubba Gaming and watch me live. Like I always say, for more embarrassing stories. Okay, so on the internet, girls do a lot of crazy things. Don't get me wrong, guys do as well. But when it comes to e-girls, well, I guess sometimes for the money, anything could happen. Jeez, people are really desperate for money now these days. But anyways, before the story starts, make sure you guys do leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Seriously, it means a lot when you guys do. And on top of that, not to mention that I am currently live on Kick streaming and telling crazy stories just like this one. So if you want to see me live, go to kick.com/Bubba. Other than that, let's get straight into this insane story. Yo, what is going on, you guys? My name's Bubba and welcome back to another, well, really crazy story story. Back when I was in high school, I remember one thing that was really cool was that we had a really big streamer in our high school. I'm not going to say the name because, well, for privacy reasons, but this streamer was actually generally a really big streamer. She averaged like over like thousands of viewers and a lot of people knew about her. And knowing that she went to our school was actually really cool. I remember one thing about her though is that she had a really big ego. And honestly, since she had a lot of simps to boost her ego, it kind of made sense. So I'm not going to blame her. But when it came to the simps, honestly, they were very questionable people. And you guys are going to hear how. I remember one time in our school, I ended up walking up to this streamer girl. And honestly, I ended up telling her how I knew about some things about the content world and basically content creation. Even though I wasn't considered Bubba yet at that time, you know, I was still kind of like, you know, into the YouTube space. And I remember I walked up to her and said, hey, like, you're that streamer, right? She looks at me and says, oh yeah, like, I'm just like another streamer. Okay, is what I said. And then she ended up saying, oh, like, why, are you like a fan? Like, do you want me to sign something? Oh, no, I just wanted to say, like, I'm also into the content kind of thing. She looked at me and said, oh, like, really? Like, what kind of videos do you make? I play video games, is what I said. And then she ended up telling me, oh, like, how many followers do you have? I don't know, like 300? Because at that time, this channel was a totally different channel. It was called Persian Guy Gamer. And also on top of that, I only had 300 subs because I streamed Call of Duty Black Ops 2 once in a while. Funny enough, one of the VODs are actually still up to this day. Going on though, I remember she ended up basically kind of chuckling at me and laughing and walking away. And that's when I prayed some sort of karma would get to this girl. I know, kind of bad to wish on people's downfalls, but at the same time, if they really deserve it, then it is what it is. Going on though, I remember weeks went by and I remember one time I went on my computer and I saw her streaming. I thought it was cool that she was streaming, so I remember I hopped into her chat and I just decided to watch her for a bit. Honestly, a lot of the time she would always kind of show cleavage and, well, be like any basic e-girl streamer, I think. I don't know, one thing's for sure, I wasn't really focusing on the game that she was playing other than her webcam, even though her webcam was almost bigger than her screen itself. But going on, I remember I kept watching until something insane happened, where I remember when I looked at her chat to see all the simps typing, talking about, you know, her cherries and everything, one person in that chat I actually recognized. The username was the same username that my friend on Xbox used, and also, it's kind of weird because the stuff he was saying, he sounded like a really big simp. And I remember he was always in there saying the most out-of-pocket stuff. And not only that, but he was sometimes in there just lurking, and out of nowhere, someone typed something, he would just be there to make fun of them. It was actually really weird to think about how I knew this guy, but at the same time, it is what it is, I guess. Going on though, I remember basically, I ended up hitting up my friend that was the username, and I ended up saying, oh, I didn't know you watched her too. He ended up messaging me saying, oh yeah, like actually I work with her. What is what I said? And then that's when he explained to me, oh yeah, like I help her with like a lot of different things, and like, you know, I help her with like her overlays and like all like her work stuff, and I'm kind of like her manager. Oh, is what I said. And then afterwards, I remember I was kind of weirded out, but I didn't think anything of it. Because when you think about it, e-girl streamers, they don't really date because, well, if their chat finds out that she's taken and there's already a guy with her, she's kind of running out of business. Let's be realistic here. Going on though, I remember I ended up telling him how it was actually pretty cool that you worked with her and that it would be cool if I even, you know, maybe got to speak to her once in a while and kind of become friends with her. He ended up saying how, like, you know, she doesn't like talking to other people and stuff outside of streaming, and that she had a really personal life, which is very interesting. But going on, anyways, I remember the next day at school, I ended up walking up to the streamer girl and I told her, hey, like, I saw your stream last night. It's pretty cool how you stream like that. And she looked at me and said, oh, like, thanks. Like, you know, I just work really hard and, you know, it's just my work ethic is really good. Okay, is what I said. But then she ended up telling me, oh, also, Bubba, did you finish the science homework? Because, like, I never got to finish it. Can you help me out with that? I ended up telling her sure, because I did want to become her friend as well, because, you know, she's cool. So I ended up trying to help her with her homework, and then that's when it happened. The guy that was in her chat that, you know, said that he worked with her ended up walking up to me saying, Bubba, what are you doing with her? Nothing, is what I said. And that's when the girl said, oh, he's not doing anything. He's just helping me with homework. You couldn't ask me, is what he said. And for some reason, it became really awkward to the point where I ended up just leaving. There was definitely something going on between both of them. There was definitely some sort of relationship that I did not know about, but I guess it wasn't public. Maybe a secret boyfriend? I have no idea. But at that point, I made it clear that maybe it's not the best idea to talk to her. I remember later on that day though, I remember I ended up getting an ad on Snapchat, and it was from the streamer girl. Now this is when things kind of blew my mind because, well, why would she add me if she had a boyfriend? And that's when I decided to hit her up, and me and her started talking. We started talking, getting flirtatious, flirtatious. And that's when I realized that she was single. And this guy that, you know, works with her, or technically the guy that I knew, wasn't anything to her. At least that's what she told me, because I ended up asking her the question, oh, like, just a question, are you and like this guy like dating or something? She ended up saying, oh no, he's just like, you know, he's just like another simp. He helps me out with like a bunch of stuff. He's nothing like that, but he's like a good friend though. Oh, okay, that's interesting, is what I said. But then right afterwards, I remember I decided to actually hit up the girl, and me and her started talking more and more, to the point where, I'm not gonna lie, it sounded like a really flirtatious relationship. But then this is where things get insane, because I remember the next day, I ended up watching her stream live, and she was doing this like, you know, gifting subs. You get to have like something out of the stream. I don't know, just like kind of like a subathon in a way, but it wasn't. And I remember when I was in that chat, I ended up typing in chat this time and actually saying hi to her, and she was happy that I was in chat. But then that ended up being my biggest mistake, because I remember the guy that was, you know, working with her ended up seeing that I was in chat, and for some reason, I guess in a form of jealousy, he ended up basically saying, oh, Bubba, what are you doing here? I'm just watching her stream, is what I said. And then that's when it happened. He ended up basically messaging me privately saying, Bubba, you do realize that's my girl, right? Wait, you're dating her, is what I said. And then he ended up saying, yeah, and it became really awkward. And I said, bro, there's no way you guys are actually dating. I remember I ended up texting the girl, the streamer, while she was literally streaming, saying, yo, he just told me you guys are dating. And then she ended up basically saying, oh, like, no, it's nothing like that. He's just a simp. And then one thing led to another. The craziest thing ended up happening. The guy that supposedly worked with her ended up doing something really simpy. And by simp, I mean maximum capital all letters S-I-M-P. He ended up gifting her over 200 subscribers on, you know, her streaming website. And let me say this much, 200 subs is like almost the equivalent of giving $400 to someone. Obviously on stream, she acted happy because obviously that's a lot of money to get. And then afterwards, I remember she said, okay, so like, what do you want? Like, I'll literally do anything for you. And what he said was he wanted a tattoo on her. And what this girl did was just giggle, laugh, and literally book the appointment to get a tattoo of this guy's name on her. At that point, I blocked the girl instantly. I knew that she was definitely in some form of relationship, because what kind of e-girl gets a tattoo of a simp's name on her body? Like, are you crazy? I don't think any streamer has ever done that. And let's just say the next day when I saw her at school, she ended up having the tattoo. I remember I ended up asking her saying, yo, so like, did you really get a simp tattooed like on you? And she ended up telling me, okay, Bubba, I'm not gonna lie. Like, me and him were like in a secret relationship. If you can like keep it low key. And then that's when I just walked away and I never spoke to her again. What does this story tell? Well, don't trust e-girls on the internet. Honestly, every streamer is really just there to make money and get simps. That's all the business is. But I mean, at the same time though, I mean, if you know, if you want a girl tattoo your name on them, just maybe give them like, you know, $400 to $500 and you're good. Anyways, guys, that is basically it for today's story. Make sure you guys do leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And like I always say, just follow for more embarrassing stories. All right, peace out, guys. So we all know about dumb blondes, and basically the rumor that when I was younger, I actually believed. I believed when I was younger that girls with blonde hair were naturally more dumber than, well, everyone else. And today, well, this story is going to prove that I was actually wrong. Yo, what is going on, you guys? My name's Bubba, and welcome back to another insane story. So today's story takes place back when I was actually, funny enough, like 3 years ago. I was just graduating high school, and I remember I was on my own. Well, by on my own, I mean going through life. Because after high school, you gotta understand, you have to go through life basically figuring out what you want to do, you know, having a job, all that crazy stuff that, let's just say, no one really wants to get into. But I remember me, I was just, you know, doing construction and hanging out with some boys. And I remember one time I decided to go to a club and I ended up meeting up with a group of girls. I saw a group of girls and one of them I actually recognized in high school. Now, when I first saw her, I remember I walked up to her and started talking to her. And when she saw me, she was excited to see me because, well, apparently I was one of the coolest guys at her school, which wasn't true. I wasn't the coolest guy. The only thing I was known for was, well, doing the devil's tango with almost every girl in school. But going on from there, I remember I ended up getting dragged into this group of girls that she was hanging out with at the time, and I started meeting all of them. I met everyone and all of them were excited to see me except one. And this girl was a blonde girl that was just on her phone all the time. Now, I don't know why she was on her phone. To be honest, when you're going out hanging out with friends, it's probably best not to use your phone. But I remember I decided to walk up to her and pulled my hand out and said, hi, like, how you doing? I remember she looked at me with a death stare, and honestly, it didn't seem like she wanted to actually talk to me. So I remember I kind of just sat down and just said, "My name is Bubba, like, what's up with you?" And she looked at me and ended up putting her phone down saying, "Oh, nothing, just chilling." Oh, okay, that's kind of cool, I guess. And once again, I believe the rumor that blondes are dumber than the average. So me, I thought I had to take things slower and talk to her in a slower pace just so she understands me. Because in reality, I'm not gonna lie to you, I don't talk the way I do in these videos. I talk a lot slower and, well, a lot more normal paced. In reality, I actually talk 10 times faster. But going on from there, I remember basically I ended up trying to talk to her and stuff and getting to know her, and there was a lot of cool things to know about her. But at the same time, she kept kind of giving me dull answers, and it seemed like that she just didn't really want to talk. So I remember I ended up walking away, and I thought it was over. Now I know what you're thinking. Wait, that's the story? No, there's a lot more to it, because this girl was really interesting. I remember the next day, I was on my phone, and I was actually planning on recording a video, funny enough. And basically from there, I remember I ended up looking at my phone, and I saw I got a notification. It was from the girl that I saw yesterday, and it wasn't the blonde girl, it was just the one that was excited to see me. She messages me saying, "Hey, like, for some reason, one of the girls wants to talk to you again. I guess they're, like, interested in you." And I said, "Oh, like, which one?" And she ended up sending me the Instagram of, well, the one and only blonde girl that I thought wasn't interested. Now, at first, I was actually really excited. But then I started thinking, maybe she was dumb enough that she realized that she wanted to give me a second chance? I know, kind of mean, but at the same time, once again, I believe the rumor blondes are dumb. Going on from there, I remember I said, "Oh, okay, like, I'll talk to her." And I ended up basically, you know, adding her on Instagram, and I started DMing her. By the way, follow me on Instagram. I am considered the hottest guy alive, and if you don't believe me, well, I guess you're a loser. But going on, I remember I started talking to her, and I started DMing her back and forth, and we were being flirtatious, but every time I tried to be, like, you know, kind of witty, I guess, in a way, she would automatically know what I was trying to do. Like, for example, I tried pulling a card where I was, like, you know, trying to give her a cute compliment, but then automatically she would just finish the sentence as if she's heard it before. Now, I'm not saying she's smart because she knows my Riz game, okay? Like, I'm not gonna lie, my Riz was, I guess, a little outdated for her. And to be fair, she might have heard it many times from other guys trying to flirt with her. So I remember from there, I just decided to be brutally honest with her and said, "Hey, like, are you down to go out sometime?" And right then and there, she ended up leaving me on scene. Kind of insane. So I remember I decided to basically try to, you know, message her again, but another day. I remember 2 days went by and I still didn't get an answer from her. So what I decided to do was message her saying, "Hey, like, do you want to, like, maybe go and see a movie?" And instantly, right as I messaged that, she actually answered and said yes. Now, I didn't understand why she didn't reply before, but she ended up replying yes, and I was excited, and obviously that day I took her to a movie. When I picked her up, I remember I was driving my car, and I was basically, like, you know, explaining my car to her, because, well, you know, I drove a sports car at the time, and I wanted her to be excited, I guess, in a way. I don't know. Like I said, I was just trying to impress her, okay? It was a first date. And I remember she looks over at me and says, "Oh, like, I know all about this car. Yeah, it's a 2001 model, Toyota Celica GT, and it's also, like, a 5-speed overdrive transmission, but also, why didn't you get it in manual?" I remember I looked at her with my eyes wide open. I was actually really impressed. She actually knew almost more about my car than I did. And she also pointed out that the check engine light was on. Yeah, kind of embarrassing, but it is what it is. I remember I looked at her and I'm like, "You were like a mechanic?" is what I asked her. "Oh no, I just know about cars." Okay, cool, I guess. I remember we ended up going to a movie and we ended up seeing a Marvel movie. And I don't remember which one, but it was one that she somehow knew a lot more than I did about the Marvel universe. Now, Batman, I will own you in any Batman quiz. Literally, you can comment down below any Batman question and I will comment under it with the answer. But when it comes to Marvel, I didn't know much about it and she knew everything. Now, reminder, this girl was blonde, blue eyes, hot and attractive, and knew about superheroes and cars. At this point, it's like finding Megan Fox from Transformers, but blonde. Like, it was just perfect. At that moment, I got excited. But then afterwards, I realized something. Maybe she did her research before, you know, going out with me. Maybe she did her research on me to impress me. Because, you know, I still believed in the term dumb blondes. Now, this is where the story gets really interesting. I remember after the movie, me and her, we ended up going back to my car and we went back to my place. I lived alone at the time. And I remember she came to my place, we sat down, and I played chess. If you guys don't know, I actually love playing chess. It's one of the hobbies I do nowadays, and I play it religiously almost. Every day I play a chess game just so I can exercise my brain. And I remember I was playing chess just, you know, on my phone, and she told me, "Oh, you should challenge me." I remember I looked at her saying, "You know how to play chess?" Because girls playing chess chess is not common. Like, I know there's popular chess famous streamers out there, or content creators, I should say. I'm gonna be honest, I've never seen a girl that actually just knows how to play chess. It was very new to me. So I remember me and her played chess, but before the game started, she said, if I win in chess, we have to do the devil's tango. I remember I looked at her and said, you're joking, right? Because obviously I thought this girl was a dumb blonde. But anyways, one thing led to another. We ended up playing chess, and I won't lie to you guys, as much as I hate to admit it, she beat me in chess. A blonde girl beat me in chess. Sounds insane, but she ended up beating me in chess, and I remember one thing led to another. Well, she was in my bedroom with nothing on, and basically we did the devil's tango. That's really it. I'm gonna be honest. That's really the story. Now, one thing I'm gonna say is that apparently after we did the devil's tango, I did ask her if she was a natural blonde, and I remember she looked over at me and said, I look at her and I said, guys, help me. And then she told me that she was actually, no, he's taking. And that's when I realized that it made sense why she was smart. And I still believe in the rumor that blondes are actually more dumb than the average. I mean, prove me wrong, ladies. Find me a blonde person that will not be dumb. I'll be surprised. Anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching the video. Make sure you guys leave a like and subscribe. And like I always say, follow for more embarrassing but crazy stories. Peace out, guys.